All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Right Riches for You, Brilliance with Money. My name is Julia Sotas, and I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see some new faces. So welcome. Um, I have been a certified facilitator of access consciousness for about 6 years, and I have used these tools to, I don't even know where my life would be without these tools. They have changed everything for me, um, with regards to romance, sex, relationship, money, children. When I found these tools, I was, a young university. I'm still young, but I was a university student, and I was just so bored with my life and so bored with this reality. And using these tools, it's just given me a whole other way of living and creating, and all of my dreams are coming true. And I know that these tools can create that for everyone. So today I want to talk to you guys we're going to have a conversation about money. Money is probably my favorite thing to facilitate on. It's something that's really easy for me, and something that I have just organically used the tools of access consciousness to create. I think the most debt I've had is about $33,000. And I use these tools to change that and to create beyond it. And I also want to talk a little bit about Right Riches for You and the Right Riches for You classes that are being facilitated all over the world. I'm a newly certified Right Riches for You facilitator, and I'm so excited to be traveling the world facilitating these classes. There are these 3-day classes. So the other thing is, feel free to ask me any questions. We're going to go for about 40 to 45 minutes. And I just want to give you guys a taste of some of the things that I have used to change my financial situation. And we're going to be using the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement to clear a lot of the points of view that you may have with regards to money. Because I'll start with this question. How many points of view would you have to lose in order to create $60,000 a month? And all the points of view that you are holding dear so that you cannot create that you will not create that, and that you will stay dedicated to being normal. Will you destroy and uncreate all of those? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot and pock, shorts, boys, and beyonds. All right. So before we begin, does anybody have any questions or anything specific that they would like to get out of this class? No? Crickets. All right, well, I'm going to blow my nose. I've been having these South Carolina allergies and taking local bee pollen, and so it's like inoculating my system. So I want to give you guys a couple different tools and tips. Most people are pretty much clueless or really, really intimidated when it comes to money. Most people are not educated on money. I was lucky enough to have parents that educated me on money. My dad loves money, and his stack of financial books is like to the ceiling. He's read pretty much every major book you could read on finances, and he's really put the tools that he's learned from that into practice. And I have read all of the different books that Gary has come out with, and then just been listening to my dad and Gary for years and years and years. And it has created this place where I have been able to create what I consider massive amounts of money at a young age. And how does it get better than that? And what else is possible? So, one of the first tools that I want to give you guys is, if you guys did my committing to money, you're going to hear a lot of the things that we talked about over those 30 days. I just finished a class called 30 Days of Committing to Money, and it was very, very powerful. And I gave about 1,000 tools in 30-minute classes. They usually ended up being 30 minutes. And one of the first things is to run this amazing clearing. I'm going to try to go through and give you guys sort of bite-sized tips and tools so that you can take these tips and tools and go out into your life and start instituting this. So the first one is something that I use every single day. It's something that has changed a lot for me, and it's to run the clearing. What energy, space, and consciousness can my body and I be to have never enough money, but always too much to spend for all eternity with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot and pock, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Blowing my nose again. You're cracking me up, Kiara, with your, I'm like watching you more than I'm watching anything else. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about, I'll run that clearing again. So what energy, space, and consciousness can my body and I be to have never enough money, but always too much to spend for all eternity with total ease? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot and pock, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So I want to talk a little bit about Right Riches for You and what the Right Riches classes are about. So Right Riches for You is something that Gary Douglas came up with as a title for years and years ago. And Curry Glassell has been the main facilitator of Right Riches for You. And now she's going on to do facilitators trainings for people to become Right Riches for You facilitators for the 102 and 101 and 102 classes. So the 101 class is 1 day long, and the 102 class is 2 days. So it's a 3-day weekend of classes. And then recently Gary's given the Advanced Right Riches for You class. So I recently just had this training. This was at the end of May, so basically a week and a half ago. And it changed my life so much that I wanted to do a call just to explain the brilliance and the magnitude of what Right Riches for You is. And I've been reading through my notes from the class every single day, and they're so powerful and so different from anything else that I've done in Access, that I'm just so excited about what's possible. So basically, what would it take for you to have enthusiasm for creating money? Because as a humanoid, unless you have enthusiasm for something, it's never going to happen. It's never going to be created. You actually have to have something to create money for. You're never going to create money if your point of view is, I have to have a Fendi bag. If your point of view is, I have to have a Chanel dress. If your point of view is, I have to drive a Range Rover. the only way to create money beyond this reality as a humanoid is to have something that you are truly enthusiastic about, and to choose to have it before you have created the money, which is actually insane in this reality, because it means you're irresponsible and you're choosing things that you don't have the money for. But in training people to the point of view of, don't buy this unless you have the money for it, or just choose to put it on a credit card if you don't have the money for it, is the perfect way to keep yourself locked in this reality. So what would you actually desire to create that if you chose to create it, and chose to create it no matter what, whether the money showed up or not, would allow you to create more money than God? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot and pock, shorts, boys and beyonds. So in my life, recently, maybe this is about 4 months ago, I have been making $10,000-$15,000 a month, and it was creating a life, that was working for me, but it wasn't as great as I knew it could be. And there were all of these things that I desired to create that were beyond what somebody making $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a month could create. There were all of these different access classes that I wanted to go to all over the world. My husband and I were buying, 3,000 square foot house that was more than we had ever spent before. And there were things that I wanted, to actually contribute to, like the castle that Gary is redoing in Italy. And, I actually wanted to be a part of the hub of Access Consciousness, which is a group of certified facilitators who are creating, who come together to create classes and do more marketing and more promotion and more social media and stuff like that. And so I realized that if I was to have all this, there was no way that I could currently pay for it in the lifestyle that I was having. And for some of you, anything more than $4,000 a month is like a total beyond. So 10 to 15 sounds pretty good. So everywhere that you've made anything more than $10,000 a month, a beyond, will you destroy and create that? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot, pock, shorts, boys and beyonds. Anywhere you've made more than $5,000 a month, a beyond, will you destroy and create all that? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot, pock, shorts, boys and beyonds. So what I looked at was there's all these different things that I desire to create. And what points of view do I have that are in the way of me actually creating all of this? And so one day I decided to go to the beach, and I was listening to some facilitation that Gary had been doing with me on a telecall. So I was re-listening to a telecall. And I said to Gary, I said, I never seem to be able to make more than $10,000 a month. And he said, well, that's because when you make $10,000, you're satisfied. That's it. You're done. And I was like, you're right. There's something in my world goes, oh, okay, cool. That's enough. I have what I need. And there's a satisfaction there. And so I said, how do I change that? And he said, well, instead of going, awesome, I made $10,000, go, awesome, I made $10,000. Now, how does it get better than this? And what can I create beyond this? And when he said that, I was just like, my energy was like fuck that. I don't want to do that. Like there was an energy of like, I don't want to say, how does it get better than this? I don't want it to get better than this. And even though in my thinking mind, I was like, well, that's okay. I'll ask that. I'm ready for it to get better than this. There was something in me that was like, fuck you. I'm not asking that. And so I said that to him. I was aware that that was my point of view. I was like, when you say that, how does it get better than this? There's just something in me that just shuts it down, and I don't want to do that. And he's like, yeah, you're satisfied. That's it. You are done. So let it be. And then I was like, Rrr. So he let that blister in my world, and I went out, and after re-listening to this call that particular day at the beach, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to create a reality beyond this. And so I said, okay, so that is my point. That is my point of enough. $10,000, 10, 12, 15 sometimes, more like 10, 12. 10, 12 is where I stop. And so I said, okay, everywhere I've decided that's enough, I destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, beyonds. So what is your enough? What is your monthly enough? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9, poc and pod, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, I know that none of you are going to create beyond your enough, so we don't have to worry about that. Just kidding. So, yeah, so what you want to ask is, what have I decided is enough? And really, how do I go beyond that? Really, what is possible for me that I have never created before? And the next day, I was more uncomfortable than I had been in years and years. I thought I was dying. It was almost like my insides were like ripping apart, and like there was almost this anxiety that came over me, but it was actually excitement. And I was sitting at my desk. This was from about 8:30 a.m. when I woke up to about 11 a.m. I was so uncomfortable. I was just walking around the house. I was like, my life is falling apart. I'm so uncomfortable. I kept asking questions, and I sat at my desk, and there was this energy that came over me of like, there was a door that had opened to creating something different. And I went, can I please create a miracle now? What's it going to take for me to create a miracle? And about 30 minutes later, I had this thought. I should do a class on energy pulls. No, that wasn't my thought. My thought was, I should start pulling energy again every single day, like I used to pull energy when I first started Access, because I had a private session with Gary, and he said, what you need to do is pull energy through the whole universe and through your business and through what you'd like to create every single day, and ask every day, universe, who can you bring me today to keep me on my way? And so after this day at the beach on a Sunday, and then this Monday morning between 8:30 a.m. and 11, when I was so uncomfortable, I hadn't been that uncomfortable in years, I asked, wow, what would it be like if I started to pull energy again? And I had this awareness of, there's no way I'm going to do that unless I do that with a group of people. So what if I did a class where I pulled energy? And that class, I had no expectations. I was like, maybe one person will join me and want to pull energy, and that way I'm accountable. I have to do it every day. In that class, there was 300 people in that class, and I grossed $42,000 US. And so that blew apart my reality. It changed everything. But it was a series of me using a whole bunch of different access tools up until that point to create that. And I clearly asked, I clearly said, okay, in my future, I'm creating $8,000 to contribute to the castle. I am creating $10,000 to go to benevolent capitalism. I'm creating $8,000 to go to the 7-day in Malaysia. I'm creating $4,000 to go to the COP in Tokyo. I'm creating this much money to buy my stepson a new mattress. I'm creating this much money to get the kids these toys that they want. I'm creating this much money for this. I'm creating this much money to buy my husband this gift. And I was like, I desire all of this. I'm having it. I'm choosing it. And even if the money doesn't show up and I have to put it all on a credit card, I am creating it no matter what. I'm not living without these things in my life. I'm not living as less. And I made that demand. And I was scared as fuck because I was like, what if nothing gets created? But I knew that that's what I had to do if I was going to jump to a new reality, a new financial reality. So the tools that I used are, for months, I ran what energy, space, and consciousness can my body and I be to have never enough money, but always too much to spend for all eternity. What have I decided is enough? And fuck that. Right now I'm getting that all 9 pod park shorts, boys and beyonds. And how does it get better than this? What else can I create? And that demand, what's it going to take for a miracle to show up? I'm going to create something totally different. And now that miracle has actually become my reality. And everything is bigger. So in order to have a bigger world, you have to make bigger choices. So what do you desire to create that's actually congruent with you? For some of you, it may be a Chanel dress. For most of you, that's not enough. For you to actually create money, you have to use it to change other people's realities. When I go to an access class, I become different and I change other people's realities. When I show my stepkids a level of elegance and a level of having, and I spoil them and create what they want, that creates more in the world. That's changing this reality. And when I buy a new dress at Michael Kors, that's changing my reality too. It's not wrong, but it's like if that's all you're asking for, it's not enough. So what have you been asking for that is way too small for you? And what can you ask for now that's enough? That's actually world-changing. You can't create when you're pretending you're pathetic. You have to choose something beyond the reality you're currently in and stick to your guns and jump off that cliff and create it no matter what. No matter what, there's no going back. Kara, can I just say how grateful I am for you and all the translators? You're the only one I can see, but you're working so goddamn hard. I'm so grateful for you. You are working so hard. I'm trying to slow down what I'm saying for you, but that's not working either. But, I'm just so grateful. And there's Anya. Hey, Anya. And I think, Yuko, you're going to be are you translating this right now or after? Your lips aren't even moving. You're like subtle translating. I love it. Oh, I'm just so grateful for you guys. The gift that this is, having this in other languages, it just floors me. All right. So somebody also sent in a question, what is the difference between wealth and riches? Which is a great question. But before that, Julia, what did you do to take that scared feeling, to tame that scared feeling? I didn't do anything. I actually exponentialized it. I didn't tame it. I went, oh my gosh, there's so much panic in my world. There's so much energy here. I'm going to have more. Even if I get burned alive, I'm going to have more. Because even though this seems like panic, I know it's excitement. When you have that panic or that intense energy, it's not panic. You're not scared. You're not dying. You're actually taking your reality from this size and it's going to this size. And it's so uncomfortable, it seems like you're dying because you are dying. The you that's this size is dying as you become the you that's this size. It does get easier over time, but it's not always comfortable. And now I just have more, it's not even that it's more comfortable. I just have more awareness of what it is. And I trust, okay, yes, I guess I am expanding. The first 25 times I did it, I'm like, I'm dying. And then maybe the 26th, 27th, I'm like, okay, every time I've decided I'm dying, my life gets amazing right afterwards. So maybe I'm just creating a greater life right now. So you just have to realize you got to exponentialize it and be the greatness that you are, that doesn't walk away from the intensity, that intensifies the intensity, that expands the intensity, and that knows the intensity is you going from this to this to this. Okay? Whew. So, what is the difference? We're going to go for about 10 more minutes. What is the difference between wealth and riches? Okay, so wealth is you as a being. When you choose to have more and more and more of you, the being. And the more that you choose to put your body and your being first, the more money gets created in your life. Every time I go, fuck it, I'm going to have the most expensive thing on the menu because that's what my body wants, more money pours into my life. And it's like, I used to decide that, hold on, I just have to plug in my computer. I used to decide that I was financially irresponsible for doing that. But it kept creating more money for me. And I got to the point where I realized if I'm not ordering what my body wants, no matter how much it costs, I'm pushing money out of my life. So it costs me money not to have what I desire because I'm pushing it away. And the other thing is when you don't have a 10% account and you're not putting away 10% of everything that you bring in, you're asking money to leave your life. When you have a 10% account, that money in that 10% account becomes a magnet for more money. Shannon O'Hara put it really well. She said, if you are using your 10% to pay for something and you're having less money in your life, it's the same as ripping out one of your organs and selling it on the black market and wondering why your body doesn't feel good. Spending your 10% is like selling an organ. Because your 10% becomes your friend. The first 4 years I had my 10%, I hated it. I was like, why do I have to put this money away? Why can't I spend it? It's not even my money. I hate this. And then after that, all of a sudden I looked at it one day and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of money in there. Shit, that's a lot of money. And I started to go, wow, this 10%, having this amount of money just being there with me is like having this person that has my back. This 10% is like my friend. This is like another entity. And it literally becomes another entity that has your back and is there for you. Hi, Keith. So you want to ask, where can I put my money that's going to create me having more money? Did you ever hear the question, if I buy you, will you make me money? It's like there are literally certain places that you can put your money so that you repel other money from coming into your life. And there are places you can put your money that will magnetize money to your life. A 10% will always bring in more money. And choosing something that you have decided you need based on a judgment that doesn't even belong to you, and putting that money there is going to repel money from your life. So am I repelling money, or am I creating money with this choice? Okay? Every choice will create that. I have this friend who her finances go up and down and up and down, and she'll make money, and then when she makes a bunch of money, she's like, oh, I'm rich, and she will go out to good dinners. She'll buy herself new clothes. She'll go buy a suitcase. She'll get this thing put in her house, and then all of a sudden she has no money, and then she panics and freaks out, and everybody around her suffers. And then after 3 months of being finished suffering, she creates more money, and then she goes out and spends it. And she doesn't have a 10% account. She almost could probably get away with that if she had a 10% account. But because she doesn't have a 10% account and she goes out and spends, it's like her choosing not to be present with that money, her choosing to get rid of that money, creates a future of no money, creates a future of her being less because she's in panic. And it's like this cycle of rich and panic, and rich and panic, and rich and panic. And it doesn't actually work. You want to create a financial reality that is sustainable. Okay? So wealth is choosing to use your money to create a different reality, and choosing to use your money to create you as more. Okay? Okay, so here's a question for you guys. What energy do you need to be to have more money coming in than you ever thought possible with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9 podpocs, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And this is a question that I've been looking at lately. This is from the Right Riches for You class. Is what energy is required on planet Earth right now? What energy is missing that only I can deliver? And that's how you create money from this, beyond this reality. Is what energy can I contribute to the world that only I can contribute, that would make this world a greater place? And when you have that as your basic point of view, and you have that as why you get out in your bed every morning, money comes to you. The more you choose to empower people, the more you choose to create a different reality with your money, and the more you choose to create you as more with your money, the more the spirits and the fairies and the divas and the elves all contribute to you They love it when you empower. They love it when you create the world as more. But you have to have a 10% account and honor yourself with money. And look at, okay, so what is my money cycle? What is my money cycle? There are times to bring in money. There are times to spend money. And where am I using this cycle against me? And what can I be that's different than what I've been before that will create me as more, that will create me as wealth? Okay? So I wanted to have this conversation with you guys because the creation of wealth is, to me, such a fun thing, and it has been such an ugly thing in my past, and such a frustrating thing. And I wanted to use this also as an invitation to you guys to go to a Right Riches for You class in person, because there is so much available when you make a commitment to changing your financial situation. And there's so much available when you go, okay, I am not going to allow money to be an issue in my life anymore. This is actually changeable. And everything that I have done to destroy myself and make this a place that's not changeable, I destroy and I create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, pop, pop, shorts, windows. Money is just energy. So it's as changeable as everything else. But it is not something that is easy for people. There is a possibility for something totally different. And it can be really fun. And these classes are goofy and silly and lighthearted. And at the end, you're capable of being things and doing things, and you are empowered to go out and create in a way that you never have been before. And so I just wanted to extend an invitation to changing your financial reality and to taking time to travel somewhere and to, book a hotel, book a train ticket, book a plane ticket, and bring your body and commit time to changing this and to becoming more in this area. All right. And what Right Riches classes do I have coming up? I only have one coming up right now, and that's in Hungary in July. I think it's July 21st, 22nd, somewhere in there. I'm going to be in Hungary, in Budapest, which is such a pretty city. I can't believe how pretty Budapest is. I'm so excited to go to Budapest. Budapest was not even on my map, and it's stunning, and it's so inexpensive. So if you would love to have a beautiful vacation this summer, I am doing that class in Budapest. And there's lots of other facilitators who are getting their Right Riches classes set up right now. But I'm so looking forward to this new journey in my life. And I'm so looking forward to working with people to change this and to make a place of total disempowerment and self-judgment into a place of total empowerment. All right. Julia, can you send the dates by email, please, of your class in Budapest and where we can register? Yes. All right. Barbara, where do you live? This is so close. All right. Slovenia. Awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, there's lots of fun to be had in Budapest. We've already booked our Airbnb, and Anthony and all my kids are going to be there. And this class has such an energy and such a thrum to it. And there's going to be lots of other classes around the world. I think I'm going to Brazil this fall. And I know that there'll be things in India and France, and I might do something in Charleston, South Carolina. So just watch, and I will keep you guys posted about the dates. And if you ever have questions, you can always email me. So I'm really grateful for you guys being on this call, and really, if there's one thing you got out of this call, it's that you have to choose greater before the money shows up for greater. So please choose greater. Okay? And what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to create a financial reality totally beyond this reality with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds. All right. Mwah! I love you all. Thanks, Vera. Thanks, Barbara, Anna Helena, and Mark. I'm not sure where this last name ends and where the first name ends and the last name starts, but it's Marusa, maybe? Marusa? Yeah? Okay, got it. Marissa says, can we have the money now, please? Exactly. Where are you located, Marissa? This is exciting. Slovenia as well. Awesome. All right. Well, how does it get better than this, you guys? And really, how does it get better than this? How does it get better than what you've decided is enough? All right? Okay. Bye, guys.